Hey guys, this is Asdjke, and today we'll be checking out this awesome hologram technology. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, today we're going to be checking this out. This is a new thing I've been working on, I discovered recently, and it's pretty cool. Holograms. Yeah, so this is just one example of how it can be used. This is an animation going at 10 FPS, animating my little intro phrase here for this video. Obviously it can be used for a lot of different things, including bigger things like this. So this technology can be used to create some pretty cool animations. So here's one that I've made that's 150 frames long, going at 10 FPS. This is pretty cool. Sorry for the slight jitter in it, that's because I'm recording. You need a pretty beastie machine to run an animation of this size, but when they're a little bit smaller, much easier to handle. But yeah, it's it's pretty cool looking. Let's step on that again. Alrighty, so all these animations and everything was created with an mcedit filter that I wrote. It'll basically be able to convert text strings or PNGs, even with alpha data, as we can see here, we can see through this, into animations or just even single frames. So that's pretty cool. Thanks to FraudCubed for creating the original filter that I grabbed some source code from to be able to do the PNG conversion into different chat colors and everything. Links to him on the screen right now. Thanks for that. And then I went ahead and adapted it to this technology and added a bunch of new features to allow it to do all this cool stuff. So yeah, check that out. We'll go more into detail about that filter very shortly. So I'm currently running the snapshot to be able to do these animations. Now you can run lower versions, like even 1.6 or possibly even lower. I just couldn't be bothered to test that low. But you will not be able to kill off the entities. Oh, I'm looking over here now. So you'd be able to do like a single frame, say just of text that says something like static, and that would work fine. But then when you want to kill them and animate them, you'd need the snapshot to be able to do all that entity killing and replacing. But yeah, let's jump in and check out a few more examples of this, and then we'll go into how you can use this in your own worlds. So what you should do, if you want to check this out for yourself, is come over to the Overcast network. Here we have a few test holograms set up, and it was awesome. So the IPs will be up on the screen right now, and their website is oc.tc, nice and easy to remember. And while you're here, you should play some PvP. It's a lot of fun, definitely the best PvP servers in my opinion. Alrighty, so just check this out. If that doesn't look awesome, I don't know what does. So these are just a few test holograms we've got set up momentarily. But yeah, they're pretty cool. So this may not be the exact finalized layout or anything, but definitely connect over here and check it out for yourself. It's really worth looking at, and play a little bit of PvP while you're here. Cool. Alrighty, let's jump back over into my single player world and check that out. And I've got a few more examples over there to show you. Cool. So these holograms don't even really need to be anything super ridiculously fancy. They can even be used to make your, say, server rules look awesome. So here we have a small little test here of just a bunch of lines of text with a single frame, and that'll just float around and look awesome. So yeah, it's certainly a different way of displaying text than signs. I really like it. It's much cleaner and certainly more futuristic if that's the sort of look you're going for. So this is all extremely easy to create. I'll show you how to do this. It'll use the filter and generate all this redstone and command blocks that you'll need. So this one here is just using that little section there. So it's very compact as well. And yeah, like you could even animate this if you wanted to, but here's just a static example. So the images will support all 16 chat colors, which is pretty cool, and it'll also support alpha data, as you can see on the main big animation inside there and the OCTC logo. There's also an option to trim the alpha data around the edges of an image, which is how that logo doesn't look like a square. It's got the cool edges around it. So here's just a quick test animation where it'll range from 1x1 to 16x16, going just cycling through all of the different colors just so you can see what's available. So yeah. You can also do shrinking to getting bigger, as you can see in the bigger one as well, and you can just, yeah, the possibilities are endless with positionings and colors and different designs, and then you can incorporate text into this, not only images and all that cool stuff. So it's pretty neat. So some of you are probably wondering, like, how big can you make these frames? Well, pretty big. Here's one of the tests I ran, just with like a 60 tall image and quite wide. It appears to me that there is no real limit to the length of the length these can be, and then the height is limited to 60 in this version, just due to the way the command blocks are laid out. You could obviously add more just with some tinkering, but the way the command blocks are laid out, 60 is the maximum. But that's pretty tall. I think this one here is about actually 45 tall or something, so you can get a lot taller. But yeah, the one problem is, like, as you do get bigger, it is quite costly to render. As you can see right now, I am lagging a little bit. I'm at about 23 FPS. So yeah, like, if you start making these massive things, there'll probably be a bit of a performance hit. But nonetheless, that looks really cool. And then obviously I had to go ahead and then animate something that big, which surprisingly is fairly seamless. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Alrighty, I got one more test to show you guys. It's nice and simple, small little animation. So yeah, let's check that out. So that's pretty cool. I'm actually running on a server at the moment, so there's a little bit more latency to it, but that's alright. You get the idea. You can do a lot of stuff with this. A lot of stuff. So today I'm very excited. I'm not only releasing this pretty cool video about some pretty cool technology, but this will also be the first video that I am publishing all the stuff to do with it to my new website. So if you click anywhere on the screen right now, you're going to head over to the downloads page where you can find the filter and world save and all that good stuff for this. And I'm going to jump in a minute and show you how to use that filter, so stick around. But yeah, check that out. I recently bought the domain for that, so asdjke.net, asdjke.net. Cool. Huge thanks to T. Taylor for hosting that for me. Thanks, buddy. Alrighty, so this filter, what it'll do is it'll generate these cool command block redstone devices completely automatically. So basically you'll just supply it a bunch of frames, or you can supply it like one long string of text with a couple of identifiers that'll tell it when to split up the frames and the lines and all that good stuff. So yeah, it'll basically create this from things. Good explanation. Great. Okay. Yep. Let's go in mcedit and I'll show you what this gibberish means. Alrighty, so first off, you're going to want mcedit, so head over to mcedit.net if you do not have it, and download it for your appropriate operating system. Alrighty, now you have it. This is mcedit. Great. Now let's not look at mcedit, let's look at the files where mcedit is kept. Alrighty, so you're going to want to find where you installed it. You're going to want to go into there. Now, inside of app data, and then the latest version, go in there. Now you're going to want to make a new folder called frames. All lowercase, F-R-A-M-E-S. And then in there is where we're going to put all our images and stuff. Cool. Now, inside of your filters folder, this is where you're going to want to extract the filters.zip file. So there'll be two .py files in there, one called PNG and one called holograms. You're just going to want to drag and drop them in here. And then that's pretty much it. So on Windows, it's pretty much that easy. Now Mac, I'm fairly sure it's a little bit harder. If you run into any issues, just Google how to install one on Mac. I think it involves like actually right-clicking on the application itself and then opening it up, then actually putting it inside of the actual application file rather than just in the file system somewhere else. Cool. So now we've installed the filter. We've made a frames folder. Inside of the frames folder, put whatever image you want. So right here, I have the Overcast Network logo that I made. So that's what we're going to be testing with for now. For image, so that's in there. Then in here I just have all my other tests inside of folders, because it basically looks directly inside of this frames folder. So you'll want to name your frames starting from frame 1. So frame 1, all lowercase, PNG files. Let's go into one that I have more here. So frame 1, 2, 3, 4, then you just go up with however many frames you want, just incrementally. But yeah, it'll only look directly in this directory, so any subfolders, it won't look in just this one. Cool. Alrighty, so let's go back over to mcedit, and I'm going to load up the hologram test world. Great, here we are. Let's just go out here. So what you're going to want to do is just select a 1x1 area. I'm going to put it up in the air a little bit. Cool, there it is. And then hit filter. Now in here, let's go ahead and select the holograms filter. Now here it is. Alright, so a little bit of explaining to do, but that's alright. That's all natural. So right up the top here, we've got two checkboxes where we can say we want to make an image or we want to make text. Now if you're making an image, you need to specify how many frames you have in your animation and if it has alpha data or not. Now this is handy here for the Overcast logo, how around the edges of it, it actually on the file, it would be like a square around it and then it would fill in alpha, but if you untick that, it would just crop it like right around the edges. So it's pretty cool, so you can untick that if you need it. Text mode, this here is where we would input our long text string to convert into text frames. Then down here are all options to do with either mode. So let's start off with image mode. We have one frame. We're going to untick alpha. Now we're going to go down here. So now if you're doing an animation with more than one frame, you can specify the delay in ticks. So the default is 1, so that's 10 FPS. You can amp that up all the way up to 13 ticks. Obviously you can go in and then make it more delay if you want, but that's just how far I went with the filter itself. Line spacing is the vertical spacing in between each line of the hologram. That can be adjusted if you want. By default it's 0.25, so that's fine. Now these coordinates here are the coordinates where you want the actual hologram to appear. So let's just say we want it over there somewhere. -472 and -314. So we'll just enter them in. 472 and then -314. By the way, you hold Alt in the select tool and you can actually see coordinates of blocks. That's nice and handy. Y coordinate, let's just go 60, so that should be up in the air. Cool. That all seems to be fine here. These other properties here I'll go over in a minute when I explain exactly how this works, although you can probably already guess if you can read these. But anyway, so let's jump in. That all seems right. We're going to hit filter. Great, so there it is. It will have created it. Control S, let's save that, and then let's jump over into Minecraft and see what it did. Alrighty, we're back in game, and here's the little structure it created. To activate it, all you need is a redstone torch, and go ahead and place it on top of this quartz block right here. Boom. There it is. Awesome, right where we put it, and it's gone ahead and made it. So now, if you wanted to do an animation, all you would do is simply include more things with those frame names and just increment up with however many frames you want and specify that and the delays and the loop and just all that. It's really simple. So there you go. That's how to do images. I'm going to quickly show you how to make the little text displays as well because they're really handy. Yeah, I'll jump in and show you how to do that right now. Alrighties, let's give these text holograms a go. So I'm going to be using Notepad here to demonstrate easier how to write one of these. I would suggest doing so as well. Then you can sort of just copy and paste it into mcedit. That way you can save this document wherever you want or whatever else. Great. So firstly, let's write something. This is a wonderful thing. Great. Okay, that's good. So formatting. Let's say we wanted this to be green. Instead of using the formatting color for Minecraft, mcedit doesn't accept that in its inputs, so instead we're going to use an up arrow, which is Shift 6 on the keyboard, and then whatever color code we want or formatting code. So for dark green to be 2 or red it would be 4. Head over to the Minecraft wiki to find out all of the details on all of the different types, and like L would be bold, but for here we're just going to make it green because green's cool. Great, and then say we want another line underneath that, so it's going to say this is a wonderful thing, then underneath that it's going to say something else. So we're going to do up arrow NL. Now that means new line. Now these are implemented by me inside of the filter, they're not formatting codes. And then I'm going to write, yes it is. Cool, so it's going to say this is a wonderful thing, then underneath it, yes it is. Cool, now let's say we wanted to animate this, say a little bit later, instead of that, it's going to say something else. So let's do up arrow NF. So the new things we have is new line and new frame. That's all you need to know. So you can add as many lines as you want per frame as well. So like I could, let's do this next one here. I'm just going to copy and paste this. So on the new frame, it's going to have the exact same thing, but I'm also going to copy the line and just make it have like 20 million lines of yes it is. So it's going to be very to the point. It is definitely yes it is. Alrighty, so this is just a simple 2-frame animation to show you how this works. So it's just up arrow NL and up arrow NF for new lines and new frames, and then all the ordinary formatting codes are done with the up arrow as well. Cool, so in mcedit, we're going to make a selection again. Let's go right there. Let's put that up in the air. Back into filter, we're going to untick image mode and go into text mode. And then simply select in here. What I like to do is actually select up a few, then press tab. Then it'll automatically select. Then you just press Control V and it'll override it. So then that's gone ahead and pasted everything I had in Notepad into that field right there. I'm going to hit loop, and the delay in ticks I'm actually going to up quite a bit. Maximum will do 13 ticks. That way it's nice and slow. 10. 10's a nice number. We're going to put it in the same place. All else is good. I'm going to hit filter. So that's gone ahead and created the 2-frame animation, as you can see right here. And let's go into Minecraft and see how it went. Alrighty, so here we are, and here's the little structure it's gone ahead and created. There's all the repeaters right there on 10 ticks, because also it takes 1 tick, including all the game ticks and things. This here is actually only 9 ticks. Don't worry, it's actually 10 ticks in between each frame. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and place a torch right here. Then we're going to head over to where the animation should be taking place. There it is. Hello. Isn't that great? I think that is definitely the best animation I've made yet. I do not know why that did not make it into the showcase. Obviously, this is just scratching the surface of what can be done with this. This is just showing you the essential tools you need to go ahead and start making things. Alrighty, this is the part of the show where I'm going to attempt to explain how this magic is working. Good, okay, well, let's get there. So, this is a nameplate. If you haven't figured it out already, that's what it is. And basically, the entity that it is on is obviously very special because you can't see it. So, this is the command that's summoning it. It's actually a horse riding a WitherSkull. Now, WitherSkulls are an invisible entity when they're summoned correctly, and you can see its direction is set to all zeros. Now, that just keeps it in place. Cool, so we're summoning a horse at this location here, plus about 55 for this age. I'll explain that a little bit more in a second. All right, so custom name is test, obviously. Custom name visible is 1, which just means I can see it from all direction, and it's invincible. All right, now the age. So let's explain how horse aging works. So horses obviously grow up from little baby horses to big horses, and that's using that age tag right there. So that modifies their size. So if it's set to a giant negative number, it can start doing some really weird things to the horse. So I'm going to get rid of that 7 there and just spawn that. We'll see it up in the air. Like, that's a weird looking horse. There's something wrong with that horse. It has some issues that it needs to go and talk to someone about instantly. So as you can see, like, the parts start flying off its body and it starts glitching out. So once that value is made so high that all of those body parts go out of render distance, it's practically invisible. You can see, like, just the tiniest bit of a foot up in the air in the sun sometimes based on the positioning on the y-axis, but that can also be adjusted by the age value. So the higher the age value is, so the more positive it is, the more likely you are to see things. But it also influences factors like entity render distance and things, but that's all a little bit confusing. So the actual entity for this one here is about 55 blocks above it, because as the horse gets a negative age, it's actually going to offset the entity to the nameplate negatively. So that's why this is actually spawning it at like 115 when here is about 60 on the y-axis. So that's kind of how that works. Yeah, I think. I hope that makes some sense. So yeah, I'm basically just modifying horse ages to create this invisible entity, and then I'm creating multiple nameplates above each other to form these awesome hologram looking things. So yeah, I could probably literally be here for a few hours explaining all the possibilities that could be done with this technology. I'm not going to do that for the fear of boring you all to death. So we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of what can be done with this stuff and a few more innovations that I have in mind, let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.